What would a perfect offseason for the Boston Celtics look like? I am Will Scott. Welcome to Celtics Today. We're going to answer that question on today's show after the Celtics lost in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. There's a lot of questions about what the C's are going to do this offseason. They could make some massive changes. Be sure to subscribe because we're going to have you covered during the offseason with Celtics content, multiple videos per week, live shows as well. If the Celtics make a big move, we'll go live. Be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/Celtics TV. So on today's show, I'm going to break down a 5-step plan for a perfect Celtics offseason. This basketball team has to improve if they want to be raising banner 18 after the conclusion of next season. I want to hear from y'all down in the comments. What should be a priority for the Celtics this offseason? Let me know what you think down in the comments section. Number 1 on my list, make a decision on Jaylen Brown. And what I mean by that is don't go into next season with Jaylen Brown not extended or not traded. You have to either trade him or extend him. I'm not okay with going in next season without having made up your mind on Jaylen Brown. He is eligible for a 5-year, $295 million contract extension ahead of the last year of his contract. He is slated to be an unrestricted free agent after next season. So either trade him because you don't want to go into next season and lose him after next season, or extend him, lock him up, make sure the two J's do not split up. That is the decision that Brad Stevens has to make. Extend Brown or move on from Jaylen Brown. And that decision should be made this offseason. Now, it's going to be pricey to keep Jaylen Brown in Boston. Here's the extension numbers that he is eligible for because he made second-team All-NBA. $50 million in 2024-2025. The next year, $54 million. After that, $58 million, $62 million, and $66 million. That's a lot of bread. Here's what Jaylen Brown did this past season. It was the best season of his career. Yes, he was not good in the postseason, not good against the Heat, not good in Game 7, but when you're talking about the regular season, he was really good. 26.6 points per game, 3.5 assists per game, 6.9 rebounds per game, 49.1% from the floor, 33.5% from three. In my opinion, it should be an easy call for Brad Stevens in Boston. You go to Jaylen Brown, you offer him that extension that he is eligible for. If he says no, I'm not signing it. And I don't know who in their right mind would turn down that amount of money because I don't think Jaylen Brown's going to get that much in free agency next year. But if he says no to sign that extension, then you trade him, no hesitation, because if he does not sign that extension, then I guess he does not want to be in Boston. The Celtics have to accept that, move on, try to get a good package. But again, number 1 on the priority list, make a call on Jaylen Brown one way or another. What should the Celtics do with Jaylen Brown? Type E for extend or type T for trade down in the comment section. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So when ad break comes, go down, chime in. E for extend, T for trade. Number 2, think defense. The Celtics have got to get better defensively this offseason. Malcolm Brogdon agrees. Here's what he said after the Game 7 loss the other night. Defense, it was the issue this year. This was a team last year that prided themselves on defense. Defense was their calling card, and then this year, offense was our calling card. And I don't think you win championships with a better offense than you have defense. Malcolm Brogdon is right. The Celtics had the number 1 defense in the league last year. They did not have the number 1 defense in the league this year, and they did not look like a top-tier defense down the stretch in the second half of the season and also in the playoffs. So they got to get better defensively because Brogdon is right. Defense wins championships, and there's 2 guys I'm thinking of here when you're talking about improving defensively, and these guys get it done on both ends, especially on defense. Jerami Grant could be a free agency pickup. Love Jerami Grant. Been following him for a long time. Went to my alma mater, Syracuse University. He's very good. And then Dorian Finney Smith. He could be a trade target. He was traded from the Mavericks to the Brooklyn Nets at the deadline. I don't know if Brooklyn's going to look to move him, but he's one of the best defensive players in the league. Look at what happened in the Mavs defensively when Dorian Finney Smith left town. One of those guys would be perfect. I think they would have a big role on this team. I don't know about a starting role, but they would certainly be involved and have a significant impact on the Celtics team. And like Brogdon said, you got to get better defensively. They would certainly do that. I also think you need a big man because you look at Al Horford, you look at Robert Williams. Al Horford is old, and Robert Williams injury prone. You cannot rely on those two guys going into next year. I love Rob. I mean, look at what happened every time he got an alley-oop in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, the guy is a machine when he's healthy, but I don't think you can rely on him to stay healthy the full year. And then Al Horford's just old. I don't think that you can go into next season with Al Horford in the starting rotation. Taking a look at some possible free agent targets. Now, Jakob Poeltl, he's a guy we talked about a lot at the deadline. In fact, it was reported that the Celtics did offer a package for Jakob Poeltl at the deadline that included Peyton Pritchard. That package was declined. He ended up getting traded to the Toronto Raptors, I should say. Nikola Vucevic, good chance that they work out a deal in Chicago. That's been the report. But he's available. Brook Lopez in Brooklyn. Naz Reid in Minnesota, and then Thomas Bryant with the Denver Nuggets. He was traded from the Lakers to the Nuggets. He is a name to watch here as well. You can go get a Jason Tatum shirt at chatsports.com/Tatum. Pretty cool shirt there. Go and pick it up. Support number 0 by getting a shirt. chatsports.com/Tatum. That link is in the comments section and the description of today's video. chatsports.com/Tatum. Just a correction. The graphic said, I should say Brook Lopez played for Brooklyn, former Net, now plays with the Milwaukee Bucks, but he's a free agent. Number 4, add another shooter. I do believe the Celtics need more shooters. You see that guy on the screen, Seth Curry. Maybe he's an option. He's on my short list here of free agent targets. Maybe a shooter off the bench that you add in free agency. Doug McDermott, I really like. He's someone else we talked a lot about at the trade deadline. Dante DiVincenzo had a decent year in Golden State. Jordan Clarkson and Max Strus from the Miami Heat, a name to watch there. I don't know if you can afford Strus, though. He's probably going to get paid. Doug McDermott might be a more realistic target. Here's what he did in San Antonio this past season. 10.2 points per game, 2.2 rebounds per game. 45.7% from the floor, 41.3% from three. He would have been nice to have in Game 7 when you could not hit the side of a barn shooting the basketball. Which shooter do you want to add? Let me know down in the comments section. I would say Doug McDermott, but what say you? Let me know down in the comments section. Number 5, I think you got to move on from one of your point guards, whether that's Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, one of those two guys. I do not expect both of those guys to be on the team next year. So you got to make the call. Do you want to keep really the heart and soul of that team, the guy that's been with your team the longest in Marcus Smart, or Malcolm Brogdon, the 6th man of the year? Before I get into my thoughts, I want to ask you, because this is a tough call. One has to go. One has to go. Marcus Smart or Malcolm Brogdon? Type S for Smart or type B for Brogdon down in the comments section. If you had to let go of one of these guys, who would it be? Let me know down in the comments section. I'm kind of indifferent there, but I'm just going to throw out an idea. Trade Marcus Smart to Brooklyn in a package for Nick Claxton or Dorian Finney-Smith, one of those guys, and then sign Fred VanVleet in free agency, who's one of the best available free agents. Taking a look at the numbers here, 19.3 points per game, 7.2 assists per game, 4.1 rebounds per game, 39.3% from the floor. Maybe he's not as good as Smart defensively, but he is still really good defensively, and he is better than Smart offensively. I don't think there's any question about that. He is a better offensive player than Marcus Smart. Sometimes Smart is a liability shooting the basketball. I do believe that Fred VanVleet, if you do move on from Smart or Brogdon, could be a target here for the Celtics in free agency. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/CelticsTV. we're going to continue to have you guys covered with Celtics news and rumors.